Greetings of the day, Professor. My name is Bhaviya Chopra, and my student ID is 100904417. Today, I'll be sharing my views or my thoughts regarding the assignment 1 that was given in your course. And basically, what we have been asked is to discuss three such instances in our life, or in college, or in school, where we have been forced to use some ethical grounds, right? So, just based on that, I'll be sharing you my views about the same. So, without any delay, let me start my assignment. So, as the so just before starting, I just want to go through what's actually going through. So, for every such example or every such case of mine, I'll be elaborating what was the circumstance for that, what were the stakes, and what were the importances for that, and also what were the involved parties in that. That were the three questions that were asked in the question clearly to us, and based on that, what was the resolution or the reflection that I took, and also the analysis based on chapter 1, 2, and 3, as mentioned for the references. So, my first my first such incident was academic integrity in my first course. So currently this is my second course, and in my first course, I not just me, we in a group of three, basically, we had a course named as um, machine learning and algorithms. So there was a final project in that, and we were supposed to make a kind of capstone for that. So what we did was what one of my friend of the group was like, he proposed like for us to copy some of the sections from online, like the entire code base through GitHub, somebody's GitHub repository, without giving proper citations or proper credits to that, because that was not our work. That was somebody's already like written code, and we had no work to that. So because at that time every course was giving us assignments and quizzes, and there was a kind of now proper, like time management within us. So just in order to save our time, he proposed that, and we all three of us, we agreed to do so. And so the project was very crucial for our grade, right? So it was not like if we would not do that, we'll still be able to pass. No, it had like 50% weightage for the entire project course. So it was very important. Like we had to do something. Now that was the case, like that was the circumstance. The stakes involved were like, as we know, like even in not about Durham, any college across Canada or especially in North America. Academic integrity is the stake, and like if it affects our grades, reputation, and whatnot, like it can also showcase in our certificate that this the so and so student has been involved in academic integrity, and they've been graded zero, and the worst could be like we could have to repeat that course again. But um thank hope like fortunately that didn't happen in our case. So academic integrity is also a very big issue in a student's life. Like it can be a turning point for any one of us. So that was the stake involved. Now, if I talk about the involved parties, so we were the team consisting of the three students, and of course our professor, and the university. Like we were all directly like involved, and it anybody's reputation or anybody's, like anybody's image have could have been like impacted due to this event, especially ours. Like nothing would have happened to the professor, but of course, like if he would um if he gets us like we did the copying of the project, like our image will surely like not be good for that. So it was like basically us who were at stake, who were directly involved, but on the other hand, it was our professor and our college too, or university, whatever. Now, if we see the resolutions and reflections, so what I did personally, like I insisted an original work first of all, like what was my call, because this is my second year and I have done the SALS academic integral workshop, and I know how serious it could be like once it's you get caught it like at Durham especially we take the things at very seriousness, like we give proper credits to citations and like whatnot. So I insisted an original work and proper citations for the code, but we ended up settling the work evenly and checking each other's contributions for plagiarism. So none of us would believe that the work we presented was their own. So what we did was like we would check each other's work by online AI platforms for plag check. And while this required like extra effort for us, it upheld an academic integrity. So it helped us from getting an academic integrity, right? So what what we can understand from here is um like we did like we were about to do something wrong, but just because I insisted them to not to do that at the very last moment, we luckily got an extra day to do so, and in that duration of time we did that. And how I can tell you about this is like if we go by the textbook as shared in a context, like importance of ethics, like as mentioned in page 28th, yeah, page 28th of the textbook. So like upholding academic integrity was crucial, like so that we can maintain that trust and fairness. Basically, that trust and fairness to the system, to the professor was really important. And if I have to give you another reference to that, that would be the values involved. Values involved is on page 30th, and like academic honesty, like personal academic integrity and responsibility towards education standards. Those are all our values that were involved into this thing. And if I have to give like some more factors would be like the psychological factors, like the feeling of fear or failing, that and the influence of peer behaviors, that's mentioned in page number 96 of the textbook, psychological factors. And what else? And if I have to say like 8 steps comparison, so what I did was I followed steps like gathering facts, evaluating alternativeness, and checking for integrity. That was also helpful to us. So I'm satisfied with the resolution and I believe that we acted rightly or fairly, and acting like plagiarism or like having plagiarism or cheating would have compromised our values and learning. So I'm very much thankful to myself that like I made those efforts to go with the original work, and didn't get any academic integrity for the same. So that was my first incident. Now if I have to share about my second incident, it was kind of whistle blowing at my workplace. So I used to work back home. So before after my graduation, I worked for at a place at a startup. So there was some such incident like which was not appropriate. So at my previous job, I like discovered that a colleague was falsely report like so he was kind of doing false efforts to inflate his sales figures, which affected the company's bonuses and stock prices. So initially, none of us could figure out what's happening, but once those graphs were going up and the results were still the same, we figured out that something is wrong, and then the quality team was involved and whatnot. So everything was there, and so what were the stakes and importances? Honestly, like it had nothing to do with me, but what I was like, what stakes and importances were there was like honesty and transparency was at stake. What I believe and like impacting companies' integrity too. Like our clients were directly in contact with us, and their work was directly to us. So that was also a factor, and employees' trust too. So that was what I would say, and potentially there could be some legal consequences too for this, as I know according to ITX. So that was all the stakes involved. So what all parties were involved in this, like the colleagues of mine, the whole department, and the management, of course, the clients and the end customers, they could all be impacted with this situation, right? So basically, that was all what was there. But what a resolution I took for that, like I reported the issue to my manager first of all, like who who first listened to me, and then he realized that yeah, something's getting wrong, and he escalated to the human resource department. So that colleague was investigated, and eventually he was asked for like questioning, and then he was found guilty and he was terminated. So it was a difficult like to terminate anybody from job would be a very difficult decision, but but that was a workplace tension, right? So what we can see from our textbook is like the same thing has been showed in page number 25 to 26, where we talk about the importance of ethics. So ensuring honesty and maintaining the company's integrity was crucial at that point. So I followed that reference from the textbook. If I have to say another reference, I would say like the values involved on page number 21st, because we all know that corporate responsibility, be it personal integrity or legal compliance, they all come into the picture when it comes to the values involved. So and also the psychological factors, these are the same. I would say the references that come again and again, because the feeling of that fear or like pressure from peers and personal moral standards too, at the end of the day, they play an important factor too, right? And that could be found on page number 88 to 96 in our textbooks, right? So I believe I acted like rightly throughout, and it was challenging as one of my colleague was getting terminated because of me. The decision was not only ethical, but it was necessary for company's long-term health. Although I didn't get any gain from that, but I'm happy that the company's stakes were at risk, which could have been like very bad. But so that thing was stopped from happening. Another incident that I would share would be like fairness in performance. So in the same company I was working during pandemic or during COVID, I switched to another companies, right? So there I was promoted as an assistant manager. So as an assistant manager, I had to like conduct performance evaluations, be it like a high performing team member who was like also a friend of mine. Like he expected an excellent review despite of minor performance issues. So he was pretty good with the sales, and he had good pitching, good rapport building with the customers, and his sales were pretty good, like he were above averages. So what he was like, kind of, he, he was always um like trying to get a soft corner and get his things done, right? So being his performance was not very accurate, but still it was good or decent. So what was the stakes here? Like what was the importance here was that fairness was at stake, like affecting teams' morale, career, be it like, and my integrity as a manager too. Like he expected favors from me from time to time, because I I knew him from a old colleague of mine, and like we were mutual friends too. So that could be seen from like by anyone in my team, that I am trying to favor him, or I am trying to shelter him with less work. So that was of course affecting my reputation as a assistant manager, and my whole team too, being like not happy with my decisions. So what all parties that were involved here were like the employee, the rest of the team, me, and the upper management as well at times. So what all resolution that I took was like, what I did was like I provided an honest evaluation at the end of the day when I was asked to do so. I highlighted both strengths and weaknesses, and like the areas of improvement for the candidate when we are asked to give the employee report at the end of the day for the pay hike, right? And this maintained fairness, and I think that was pretty much needed, because although he was expecting me to give him like highest reviews possible, but I did what I needed to do. And although it was strained and like it was not good as on friendship terms, but I believe what was done was pretty much right, as a work as like as a position that I was holding at that time. So so what all analysis that we can take from the textbook or the book here is like importance of ethics, basically, on page number 24 to 25th, because maintaining that fairness and objectively is like very crucial for team and trust and morale. So that was really important for us as a team, because I wanted to make sure I'm very much fair with everyone, and I'm not biased to any of the teammate of mine. So what all values that were involved were also very important, be it professionalism, be it fairness, be it the responsibility. And this can be seen on page number 30th of the textbook. And same, I mean, like the 8 steps comparison, like which I did was like considered the facts. I took the evaluation alternatives and maintained integrity. That was the 8 steps I took, and psychological factors too. So these were all the like psychological factors, like due to personal relationships with me, with that employee, and fear of personal conflict, and the need for fairness. Those were all the psychological factors. So I'm satisfied with my decision for this, and as a professional, I upheld those standards and reinforced the importance of fairness in a team, and like and as a personal individual too. So what I can say based on all those three act like incidents, like I like acting ethically was very crucial to maintain that decorum or the integrity and the trust between like all the parties involved, and values such as honesty, responsibility, and fairness guided me throughout my journey, like no doubt. And following the 8 steps for ethical decision making ensured like comprehensive and fair resolutions. Also, psychological factors such as fear, bias, peer influence, played significant roles, but maintaining ethical standards was a must. That was all from my side. I hope you like my content. If so, kindly give me good feedback for the same, and if there is any such thing that I missed or uh, unintentionally I skipped, kindly do write that in the feedback too, so that in next assignment I could consider those and I would use those critics as a positive feedback. That was all from my side. I hope that goes well. Thank you.